Hola. You know, yesterday I said to someone that after every talk today, I'm going to be emotionally exhausted. So I need to sit down. The speakers today, weren't they amazing? Please, big, inspirational. Thank you. I have to say something though before I start. Pilar's kids teach me this. Hola, chicas guapas españoles. Did I say good? Okay. All right. Today I hope that I am able to inspire you all to dream big, to believe, to have hope, work hard and never give up. I think the other speakers have done this to you guys already because I have nothing to say after these speakers. They're amazing. Their stories, their strength, their adversity that they have overcome, extraordinary. My life started in Iraq. And it started when I was a child. I was found, as you saw in the video, in a park, or believed to be found in a park, in a box, believed. No one knows, though. My past is very mysterious. And time went on, and a nun found me. And she brought me to the orphanage where I was. And I spent for 6 years. And I was raised there for, like I said, 6 years. And during this time, it was very difficult for me. I was loved by the nuns, yes. But I never felt like I belonged. I was young, of course, so at the same time, maybe I didn't know what belonging or not belonging really means until I came to Australia. During the time when I was in the orphanage, I heard bombs and shots because I was born between two wars. And it was scary for me. There were times where I would go into my brother's bed and I would cry. I'd be so frightened. I didn't understand what was going on at the same time. For a 3, 4, 5-year-old child, this is very scary. And I remember it like it was yesterday. My brother and I were the only mentally normal ones in the orphanage. So we had to look after these kids, to love them, especially my brother. He was like the orphanage mum. He was a minder. He kept me safe, kept the kids safe, changed their nappies, fed them, gave them water. And at the same time, when he knew he had to do something, and he knew by doing it he would get in trouble, he'd get me to do it. So he was cheeky. When I was about 3 or 4, that's us. We're cute, yeah? I know. When I was about 3 or 4, a woman named Marion Kelly came to the orphanage. When she walked in that door, it was like looking at an angel. I thought, my God, why is she here? Is she here to help us? Can she help us? And at the same time, I thought, is she stupid? Why would a woman that's completely white and blonde hair come to a Muslim Iraqi country or Arab country? I thought, this girl's nuts or very brave. This is us when we were in the orphanage. These are the nuns that looked after us, and they looked after us well. Mum came, she gave us the most incredible time. She took us out. And we called her Auntie Moira at the time, because she really was like an auntie. My brother, as she was leaving, and after she gave us lots of presents, he said to Auntie Moira, he said, Auntie Moira, can you help us? And Moira looked at him and she said, I don't know, but I'll try. Can you promise? He said. She says, no, I can't promise. But what I can promise is that the doctors in Australia will see this. And I promise I will do my best. And then he said, Auntie Moira, if you can't help both of us anyway, why don't you take Emmanuel and then come back for me another time? Moira thought, oh my God, I have to bring both of them now. This was too beautiful, and it was. When I came to Australia, my brother looked outside the plane as we were landing, and he looked out and he goes, oh, wow, it's so beautiful out there. He sounded like an Indian, a Chinese man, and a Greek man put together. And it was beautiful. We arrived into Melbourne. We spent 2 years in Melbourne, and then we came to this incredible place, which became our home for 10 years. And I remember when we stepped into the door, into immigration doors, and we stepped into the actual city, my brother and I, we were so shocked, so surprised to see so many people there. Family of Moira's, supporters, friends. And I said, and my brother said, well, who are they here for? And she said, for us. And my brother thought, wow. See, we've never really had us. We've never had a sense of family or a sense of love as much as we did when we arrived. And from then on, we were taught not to take things for granted, not to take our families, our friends, our supporters, our girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands for granted, to love them, to remember that we are all equals. Whether you are the boss of a company or whether you are just simply the worker in the family, we are all equals. We are all special, beautiful, unique. You see, there's lots of grass there. My brother and I, we had never seen grass. Never seen it. So we were jumping around, we were diving in it, we were eating it. No, we weren't doing that. We were getting close. But we were so surprised to see this. You see, in Iraq, no grass, just sand. But most of all, we thought to ourselves, and Mum thought to herself, isn't it incredible how the smallest things in life like grass, can give you the most joy. At times, we took things for granted, my brother and I. We lived in a house with kids that were missing arms or legs, half their faces, burnt almost 60% of their bodies, heart problems, kids that were about to die. And every time we felt sorry for each other, Mum, she would walk up to my brother and I. She'd say, "What are you complaining about? You've got no problems. Yeah, you might be missing an arm or a leg, but you know what? At least you're alive. At least you have opportunities." And then, this is the funny part, she would go to the kids that sometimes would feel sorry for themselves, the hard kids usually, because they were always spoilt at home. But she would go up to them and she would say, "What are you complaining about? Yeah, you might be dying. You're alive now. Be happy. You should also be happy. You've got arms and legs. Ahmed and Emmanuel don't." Growing up in this house, it was humbling. It was beautiful. Anyone that went there, not just my brother or I, or the kids, volunteers, when they stepped out of that house, they would have huge smiles. Because suddenly, everything in life that you thought was bad or annoying, you would suddenly think, my gosh, I feel blessed. And I think we all of us in this room, including me, have got this today. From Maria, from Lucia, from Irene. Is it? Is that how I say? Yes? Okay, good. Because I definitely did. Growing up, I went to school. Not legally, but I went to school. Mum, she had a way of convincing people. And I went to school and I studied, I worked, I loved it. On my first day of school, I was so happy. I was on my little tricycle and I was, yay! I was excited because I'd never been to school. I was eager to learn. When I got to high school, that was a different story. But when I was in primary school, I certainly was eager to learn. In 2003, I had my first surgery. And my second as well. Straighten my left leg. And also I had the first foot-to-hand transfer. Transplanted, it says there, but no, it's transfer. That's okay. My fault. And so then, in 2004, I had my third surgery, or second. And that was to do my hip. For me to be able to walk. Irene, I think, knows what that's like. And it was incredible. For the first time, I felt on top of the world. I was very lazy and very bad at doing my exercises. But then as I got older, I learned a saying, no pain, no gain. Which means, without pain, things are just too easy. And you don't achieve as well and as much as you want to. Over the years, I've had about 8 surgeries and I've still got 2 to go. Hopefully only 1 though. But we'll see how we go. Then it became for me and for Mum to want to keep my brother and I in Australia. We had come at the right time for her. And we were really cute. And she said, she always says it, I finished doing what I've done overseas for now. I need to settle. I need to have a family. These boys, they need a family. But on top of this, let's rewind. Go back to when I was in Iraq for a minute. Mum walks into an orphanage where my brother and I were staying at the time while she was getting us out of the country of Iraq. And she saw this child in a bed. She walked up and she said to the nuns, what's happening over there? Because she saw all these people surrounding this child. So she walked up, she looked at this child, and it was covered. His face, his whole body was covered with flies. Now imagine that sight. For her, it was frightening, daunting, shocking. And so when we were in Australia, this spun around in her head all the time. She didn't want us to go back to that. We needed a home as much as she needed a family. We needed love, support. And she knew and felt that she could give this to us. And she did. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to achieve and keep achieving. I wouldn't be able to share the messages to you all, especially to young people, to believe, to remember we're all beautiful, unique, special, as I said before, to dream. She kept us, or tried to, and worked very, very hard for almost 8 years with a very close family friend and godfather, Peter Mabry, who's sitting here. Give him a clap. And they kept working. And eventually, we became Aussies. So I want to try something here. When I say Aussie, 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 you say oi, oi, oi. Peter, get your camera out. We're going to show the Aussies back home. All right. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. There we go. I just converted Spanish people to Aussies. Yeah. But, again, I want to take you back. You see, Mum had challenges on the way. Huge challenges to even just get us into the country. One of those challenges was when she received our passports. This is probably the best and the biggest. When she received our passports, she was so happy. She said, oh my God, this is incredible. Then her phone rang. Ring, bring, bring, bring. And it was her mum on the line. Her mum's also named Moira, so it might get confusing here. And Moira said to Mum, honey, I have a problem. We have a problem. She goes, Mum says, Mum, tell me anything, everything. Nothing can bring me down today. I have these beautiful passports, these boys, they're here. They're going to be here. And her mum says, well, Moira, it's about the passports. And Mum says, well, what do you mean? I mean, I've got them. And Mum says, Moira says, well, Moira, I have Interpol, the federal police, at my door, Interpol on the phone, and they're telling me that those passports are fake. The boys cannot come to Australia. They have been put on a blacklist, and if they step into this country, they will be sent straight back. They weren't even allowed to leave Iraq. Mum felt sick. She hung the phone. She cried and she felt depressed for 3 days. And isn't it amazing in life when something like that happens, when you're trying to help someone else? I've had it, it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to everyone in this room. You suddenly feel sorry for yourself. Not for the person, but for yourself. And so she did this. And then, after 3 days, she said, no, I'm not going to give up. And she didn't. So she rung up Interpol headquarters and she says, I want to speak to your boss. They're like, no one speaks to the boss. Not happening. And she goes, well, I want to speak to them now and all this sort of stuff. And he goes, look, madam, in a nice English accent, he says, madam, I can't give you to the boss, but you can speak to me. She says, all right, fine. So she tells him what her thought of what's happened is. And she says, I believe that these boys, their passports are real. And what's happened is the numbers have been reused. Somewhere along the line, something has happened, and these numbers have been reused in Iraq. Because the nuns, they don't mess with the black market or mafia no, they're nuns. They're Mother Teresa nuns. Come on. He goes, yes, madam, I understand. But I'm sorry, I can't do anything that's so far-fetched. I think you've been watching too many James Bonds. I was like, no. Just please check it out. Go see if it's true. And so he did. You know, this man's thinking, this is so far-fetched. It can't be true. No way, but, just to make her happy, I'll have a quick check. Calls her up, and he says, Moira, I have some news. She goes, what's the news? He goes, it's about those boys. What about the boys? Well, it's about the passports. Oh, yeah. What about the passports? He says, well, madam, you're right. She goes, I know. And she was right. And we came to Australia. We became Aussies. See, I went from cute and now I'm very handsome. And so, after we became Aussies and we had overcome different challenges in life, we had seen so many different things. Kids from around the world in a house, Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, every culture, every religion you could imagine was in that house, and there was such equality between all of us. Mum would have them saying please and thank you before they even stepped off the plane. Ahmed and I, we wanted to pursue something to us to say something that we could use and do to not just for our own personal benefit, but to say thank you, to inspire, to empower, because we felt a need. We've been given an opportunity. Let's give it back to those that need it. So my brother, he played AFL football. It's good sport. You should watch it. Spain should take it up. And he did extremely well. He played it until he was 16. And when he was 16, Mum thought it was getting a bit dangerous, so she didn't want him to get hurt. But me, I thought, well, it's not going to be him getting hurt, it's going to be the others. See, when he played football, he would kick the ball. And my brother has 2 prosthetic legs, 2 fake legs. And he would kick the ball. And people would go, instead of saying ball, they'd say leg. This was true. So the people wouldn't know whether they go for the ball or the leg. And then there were times when my brother is playing and there's tackling in the sport, so you have to grab them and throw them in the ground. And my brother, people would look at him and they would say, oh no, we better leave him. And he'd come up and he'd grab him and throw them down, and like, wow, he's tough. But the funniest time was when my brother was playing on the field, and he'd been playing for about 3 years now, so he was known. He was known for his toughness. They called him Nails because he always went in as hard as nails. And so one day this coach, and my mum's sitting there listening, and this coach, he says, see that boy? He's a decoy. You don't worry about him. You smash him. You kill him. He's just a decoy. They use him to make you feel sorry for him. But he's just a decoy. And Mum looks at him and thinks, oh my God, that's my son. When he was 16, he took up swimming. My brother wasn't passionate about the sport. He was passionate about challenges. He was passionate to achieve challenges and to say thank you. So in 2012, after swimming for 4 years, he competed in the London Paralympic Games. All his other competitors had been racing and doing the sport for 8, 9, 10 years, and he was doing it for 4. In his first year, he broke the 100-meter record, and this boy had maybe swum for playing around when he was a child, but never in a competition. And he broke the 100-meter world record. People thought, geez, this kid's actually pretty good. So he kept going. He beat it again. He beat it again. He held it and had it for 7 seconds. And then he found out that 1 year before, he found out that 100-meter breaststroke is not in the Paralympic Games. So he needed to learn from going endurance to speed, to quickness, to speed. I don't know how you say it. I'm not sport technical. But he had to go from being an athlete that did long distance and go to an athlete that does short distance. And he did this in 1 year. At the Nationals, where they have the qualifiers, my brother, no one expected him to make it, to even place. And he just made it. By a grain of sand, he just made it. And then he went to the Paralympic Games. He competed in the qualifiers of the 50-meter breaststroke, and he came second. That's extraordinary for someone like him. My brother has no arms, no lower arms, and no lower legs. So he's from the knee up. He swims like a fish or something. I don't know how he does it. And then he competed in the finals. And he swam faster in the qualifiers than he did in the finals. However, I want you to decide what and how you think he did. My brother is in the yellow
About to go.
jersey, the yellow cap. That's him.
Take your marks.
Off he goes, and Ahmed, another excellent start. Down low, coming up well, in a good position indeed, coming up pretty close to the lead. It was the world record holder Suzuki alongside him who started brilliantly also. Luke was away okay, and then Schoenmaker on the far side, Sanchez Martinez. But now, after 25 metres, it's Suzuki just in front. Ahmed Kelly's keeping with them. He's still a middle chance from here, but they're starting to come through in lanes 3 and 2 as well, with Schoenmaker joining in lane 3 and Luke in the centre. It's Schoenmaker, Luke, Suzuki and Ahmed Kelly back at about 4th or 5th at the moment. It's going to be really tight as they come in towards the wall. Schoenmaker, will he win it? He's in lane 3. Looks like he might have the lead at this stage, or they'll go into the wall interestingly, and Schoenmaker got it in 50.01 or 50.
Not bad, huh? He did pretty well. If my brother had swum like he did in the qualifier, he would have come first. And he knew this. He was disappointed. And then I said to him, and I'm meant to be the good-looking one, he's meant to be the smart one. But this time I was both, so I felt pretty good. And I said, Ahmed, why are you feeling so bad? Why are you feeling so upset? I mean, come on. You just competed in the Paralympic Games. Less than 1% of people do that. And on top of that, you came 4th. I can't even go 10 meters. And I said, and also remember, you are 4th in the world after 1 year doing this stroke. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, you're right. And why I'm telling you this is because every time you think to yourself, I'm not getting it done, it's not looking good, it's not working, think to yourself, is it not working because I keep saying to myself it's not going to work? Or is it not working because I'm not trying hard enough? Most people would say, you're not trying hard enough. But I say this to you. You can try all your life. You can try and you can try and you can go as hard as you can. But if you don't have that belief inside here that says, I can do it, then, and you never feel good about yourself, then it doesn't matter what you do in life, you're never going to achieve. Then it became my turn. In 2011, I competed in the X Factor. Oh, wrong way. No, doesn't work. Okay, that's all right. No. Ooh, that's pretty technical. I like it. They did it well. Sorry, Pilar, Maria, Marta. In 2011, I competed in the Paralympic Games. I'm never going to be invited again. So in 2011, I competed in X Factor. And I went on this show because I love singing. No reason, I love singing. In the back of my head, I knew that one day I will help people, inspire people. And I went on this show. And many of you think that, why did he sing Imagine? Why that song? Well, let me tell you this. I never chose Imagine to sing that night. I hadn't even practiced it. I learned Imagine when I was 10 years old. I sung it till maybe I was 14, and I hadn't sung one note of that song for 3 years. The song that I was going to sing and I had all planned out and practiced was Home by Michael Bublé. Anyone know that song? Some people? Well, I love him. I think he's gorgeous. He's a legend. Great artist, great singer. Check him out. Cross promotion. And so I thought to myself, you know, this is the song. And so I came on and I asked the guys at the computers 10 minutes before I went on the stage, are we ready? They go, yep, you ready to sing Imagine? Excuse me? Are you joking, or you have issues, or who's hired you? He says, yeah, I'm sure. I said, mate, I'm singing Home. And he goes, oh, we don't have clearance for that. I say, you didn't think of calling me up like yesterday even to tell me? Oh, we thought someone did. No, no one did. And so I practiced it for 5 minutes and then went on stage. And before I went on stage, I thought, you know what? I am shitting myself. Excuse my language, but that's what I thought. And then, as I walked on, there's the microphone, and as I step up to it, I thought, you know what, stuff it. If I stuff it up, I stuff it up. But I'm going to just have the time of my life. And I did. It was so surreal. It was an experience that inspired others, but inspired me. It empowered me. It encouraged me. It was something that was just meant to happen. Whether you believe in religion, in God, in fate, doesn't matter what you believe in. There is a path for every one of us in this room. Whether we choose to take it or that path chooses to take us, it is completely up to fate. To me, I believe in God. So for me, it's up to God. For others, it may be up to nature. It may be up to Buddha. It may be up to whatever you believe in. Some may say, I don't believe in anything. Each of you do. And it may simply be your families that you believe in. Love, passion, life. So, I did well. Okay. And now my dream is to not just be a singer, inspired through my voice, but to be someone that young people look up to. Old people can think, I want my daughter to marry him. No, I'm just kidding. But I want young people to look up to me, to look at me on stage and think, you know what? If he can do it, why can't I? We can all do it. We can all achieve our dreams if we believe. What's the reason why we all wake up every morning? I want to ask this question. Shout it out, please, please. Shout out an answer, someone. Seriously, or I'll pick you out. What's the reason why you wake up every morning? To go to school. It's a good one. To see your family. To what? What do you say? I don't know if you're speaking German, French, or Spanish. Shh, one sec. To find a way. It's a nice one. Why do you get up every morning? To smile? What about you? That's a good one. To feel. It's a nice one. Can you say that again? Shh. It's a good one. To try and make others feel that life can be better. I just got the sign from Pilar. I think I'm going over time. But every one of you is correct. Every one of you is very, very correct. But you cannot do these things if you have one simple thing. And that's hope. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in your room and that you're about to get out of bed. Why are you getting out of that bed? It's because you feel hope inside your heart, rushing through your veins, swirling in your head. And when you get out, you hope that somehow you are going to do something special you think is special. You hope that you're able to, or your kids are able to say, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. And young ones are hoping that their parents will say that to them. You hope that your dreams can be achieved, that you see something that inspires you that day, empowers you to keep going. If you're being bullied, if you're being hurt in any way, you hope that that will stop. You hope and you hope and you hope every single day, every hour, every minute, and every second. You hope. So I leave you with this. Keep hoping. Believe in yourselves. And most of all, I want each and every one of you now to shout out the words, I believe, I believe, I believe. 1, 2, 3. I believe, I believe, I believe. And now, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. Thank you. God bless you all, guys.